Hello and welcome to this update for our Indices Trading Floor group. You can see here I've got the Xstation 5 platform up, and today I want to speak specifically about European indices as we've seen some further selling emanating out of Italy. First off, if you see on Xstation 5, you're on the left hand side here, a nice overview of what's going on in the indices space is if you click on indices and then if we say Europe, you can see quite quickly here there's a sea of red across the screen. All these indices are trading lower on the day. And you can also see the worst hit is the Italian 40. You can see ITA 40 cash here down 2.44%. So now if we look at the charts and we just focus in on here, we've got the ITA 40 up itself, and you can see we've had some big selling today coming on the back of weakness that we've seen in recent weeks. Now this all really emanates from a couple of weeks ago when we saw a budget deficit announced from Italy, which was higher than expected, and this could put the country on a collision course with the European Commission in breach of their fiscal rules. We've seen major declines. There's been a drop of over 1,500 ticks in just the last couple of weeks. And you can see today we've gapped lower below prior support around 20,220. And we're set for another big down day at the time of speaking. Now, if you look back to around 18 months ago, this is where you can last see price trading around these levels. And we had a large gap higher there after closing around 19,300. Now, this is a possible target for shorts if we do continue lower. On the upside, longs will want to see price get back above 20,220, and if we do get a daily close above here, then the outlook could become a little bit more positive. This purple line I've got drawn on is a 200-day SMA, and you can see this is starting to roll over and point lower. And just to show you from a very long time perspective, for nearly all of 2017 and the first part of this year, this was pointing higher, indicative of an uptrend, but now we are pointing lower. We could be set for some weakness. You can see here going back to 2015, once the SMA started pointing down, we were set for several months of declines afterwards. Now, our most popular European indice to trade is the D30 here, and I've got the D30 cash. Now, the main difference between the cash and the D30 is that the cash market trades throughout the night, so you have a lower gap risk. You can see here we're also being dragged lower, partly due to this bad news out of Italy, and we're down testing this big 12,000 level at the moment. You can see in recent months we made several lower highs and also lower lows, and we do now look like we could be falling down into this longer term support region from around 11,700 to around 11,930, which has previously attracted buyers on several occasions. Again, the SMA here, it has been more level, but it is starting to turn lower. And if we do break down below these levels, and if this week we can see a drop below 11,705, then the outlook becomes a lot more negative for this market. The EU 50 is a nice broad overview of the 50 of the largest, most liquid stocks throughout the Eurozone. And you can see here we've got similar price action. We've got another decline similar to the D30. We've got a series of lower highs, and we're falling down into this key longer term support region from around 3,300 to 3,260. Finally, I just want to talk about UK 100 cash, whilst the UK is still part of the EU for the next 6 months or so. And you can see here, obviously, whilst you look at daily time frames, sometimes if you want to trade intraday, you want to look at shorter time frames. So here, this is actually an hourly chart, as you can see from the H1 up in this corner. And what we've had here is a breakdown below price support around 7,300. Now, just to show you how breakouts can work for these sort of markets, if you look back a couple of weeks, or last week, sorry, actually, once we break below 7,450, which was previous support, you can see this area then became resistance. It was tested a couple of occasions before the market fell lower. So now we have broken below 7,302. You could see this as possible resistance if the market does push back up into this area. If it fails to do that, then there is scope for further declines going forward. Okay, thanks for listening, and best of luck if you're trading these markets in the coming days.